Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, members, and thank you to my esteemed colleague and sponsor of SB 17, Senator Estes from the great city of Wichita Falls, for allowing me this opportunity to speak. You have been, Senator Estes, a consistent defender, a staunch defender of constitutional rights, and you are a true patriot and a true protector of the Second Amendment. While Senator Estes and I do agree, that we must advance the Second Amendment in Texas, we do differ in our preferred approach, and to that extent which we would restore Texans' God-given liberty to protect and defend ourselves and our families. It is critical that Texans enjoy the full benefits of the Second Amendment. I humbly and respectfully ask for a quick moment to discuss SB 17 and its similarities and differences to constitutional carry, which is legislation I have been promoting. Colleagues, unlike the bill before you today, constitutional carry would allow law-abiding Texans to carry a pistol without a license, openly or concealed. It would not change the laws of who can own a gun, how you can buy a gun, where you can carry it. In fact, under constitutional carry, it does not change the CHL process and would remain an option that Texans could choose to use for various reasons. Constitutional carry would restore Texas to its rightful place as a national leader on expanding the Second Amendment rights, and it would put in place a system where law-abiding Texans could carry a handgun either openly or concealed without having to obtain a permit or a license beforehand. Constitutional carry would preserve current restrictions against serious criminals possessing handguns and would continue to preclude carrying in certain establishments, including bars, sporting events, courtrooms, and of course, business owners would retain their discretion over whether or not to allow possession within their stores. Today, and under the bill before us, a law-abiding Texan who wishes to carry a handgun on his person outside his home or vehicle has to pay a $140 fee and spend at least 4 hours in class. Senate Bill 17 retains these impositions and only adds a small pittance of liberty. The permitting process is essentially designing a government-imposed burden that discourages handgun possession. Does a working, law-abiding single mom who lives in a dangerous neighborhood have the time and resources to jump through the government hoops? Why should she have to, when we know that her right to carry and to defend herself is fundamental and constitutional? Texas should honor and practice what most of us already accept in principle. The right to carry a firearm and defend our life and liberty is a natural right, a God-given right, and does not need government permission to be fully exercised. Some might have concerns about violence and crime increasing under constitutional carry. We heard the same things, as the dean said, in '95 when the Texas legislature became one of the last in the country to institute concealed carry law. Of course, those warnings were false then. Crime rates have fallen since, and they're false now. 7 other states like Arizona, Alaska, Arkansas, Vermont, Wyoming, and almost all of Idaho and Montana have constitutional carry laws. They are not the Wild West of opponents' nightmares and actually are safer than most states. Indeed, Vermont and Wyoming are consistently rated as one of the safest places to live in the United States. So let me now cite a quick few facts. Texas today has permitted open or concealed carry of all shotguns and rifles. So why are we so scared of pistols? Currently, as we've mentioned, 32 states have some sort of non-permitted open carry of handguns. I repeat, 32 states allow carry of pistols with no permits. Texas is only, as we mentioned, one of 5 states that doesn't allow open carry. We are aligned with states like Illinois and California. Today, constitutional carry is currently advancing across the nation in several states, including New Hampshire and West Virginia, but not in Texas. We don't want Texas to be as good as the many other open carry states. We must exceed them, and that's what constitutional carry will do for Texas. Again, constitutional carry is about creating a legal environment that takes the Second Amendment and our God-given natural rights to self-defense seriously. As legislators, we are called upon to protect the liberties of the people we represent. When it comes to the questions of fundamental liberties, I believe it's important that we not play small ball, but act boldly, because it is a new day in Austin. And I think Texans agree. People in this state are ready and are demanding a restoration of our rights to defend ourselves. I am speaking now on behalf of my district and the thousands of Texans who have reached out to our offices about protecting our constitutional rights that were bestowed upon us by God and secured in that document by our founding fathers. As I mentioned before, these rights are God-given, and no man, no government, or piece of paper should come between law-abiding Texans and their right to protect themselves and our families. We would never tolerate paying a surcharge for obtaining a license to exercise our First Amendment rights, nor should Texans have to tolerate the same for the Second Amendment. We must continue to foster liberty for all Texans. Texas has been a shining light compared to the rest of the nation, but government's goal should be to lift the burdens that interfere with our constitutional freedoms that are bestowed upon us. We should fight to protect each and every individual liberty we can for all Texans. Mr. President and members of this esteemed body, I thank you for allowing me this time. This body has always been open to discussion and debate, and I appreciate every member's dedication and service and for letting my constituents' voices be heard. But I beg you, please see through the fog of fear. Trust your fellow citizens. Seek pathways to restore their freedoms and liberties that have been taken from them. Our founding fathers, with divine inspiration, went to great lengths to design a government whose primary purpose is to protect your God-given liberty. The fundamental right to defend yourself by bearing arms is enshrined in our Constitution. We should never have to ask permission from the government to exercise that right. Constitutional carry empowers law-abiding Texans to take responsibility for the security of themselves and their families. Now, I am disappointed we are not considering constitutional carry legislation today. As I yield the floor, I want you to know that I will vote for SB 17, but I do so with a very heavy heart, as it is my belief that this bill does not go near far enough in advancing our Second Amendment rights and represents a unique missed opportunity to restore liberty for all law-abiding Texans. Thank you, Mr. President.